Hello and welcome back to Bosco's Toy Box, where I am back with more toy collectibles, and this time it is to continue to show you the vintage Lanard Corps figures that I have in my collection so far. And what I wanted to show you before I show you the figures is that I had mentioned in the last video that I fixed the O-rings and I try to complete a either a G.I. Joe figure or a Lanard figure from the random parts that I find when I go out to the it's like Rogue Toy Store here in Vegas, which has like 3 locations, and they sell random body parts, and then you get a head, you get legs, you get a torso, and all that stuff to make a complete figure for like $3.99. And they even give you the back screw, and they give you the O-ring. And I do promise, because I've had a couple viewers already that want to see me put together or fix the G.I. Joe or Lanard figure. So that will be coming, I do promise you. But I wanted to show you a customization that I did way over a year ago. And what I did is I just wanted to see if this would work with G.I. Joe parts and with Corps parts. So as you can see here, the head is actually G.I. Joe. It's from Iceberg, I believe. And then as you can see here with the chest, that is a Corps figure. And then the hands don't necessarily match because as you can see, and I'll turn it to the side, he has a black hand, like almost a gloved hand. And then the hand that's over here is green. And then the legs pretty much fit the torso because they're green legs, and then he's just got he has black boots on. But as far as the customization goes of making your own figure, it's not too bad. The head is fits a little loose within the body frame, but it's not bad. But I actually have to take this guy apart because I need the head, because I found the other body parts for Iceberg. So maybe I will put together Iceberg in one of the future videos for putting together and fixing the figures. So I just wanted to show you that really quick. So I thought that was kind of cool, that customization does work for putting together body parts of Corps and G.I. Joe. And you know, you can name them and make your own little stack cards too. But sadly, he's got to be taken apart. Okay, so let's just put that off to the side so I can actually take him apart. Okay, so I got three figures. I'll show off 3 figures because I think that's what I have here. So the first one that I want to show you is I'll say it's vintage, but it's actually from 2001, but it still uses the same body frame, the same O-ring structure as the vintage Corps figure. So I'm going to say he's within the within the vintage line. But his name is Shooter Sam, and he's actually version 2 of Shooter Sam. And let me put his arms down here. So he's dressed all in black, and he does have a cowboy hat. And there are different figures that actually do have cowboy hats on, but there is one that I'm going to show you next that does have a cowboy hat, but Shooter Sam always has the brim of the cowboy hat up. And as you can see, if I can turn it to the side and actually kind of turn it all the way around, you can kind of see that the brim of the hat on the left and the right side kind of are pushed up. So on the next figure, I'll show you how the other character's cowboy hat is different. But he is sporting almost like a Tom Selleck mustache, and he's almost like a Burt Reynolds kind of look to it almost. And he does say Corps right there on his lapel. He is sporting a knife there on his, it's like a brown, let's see what he does. It's like this brown belt band that goes all the way around his chest and then around his waist. It looks like he does have a 6-shooter there, a revolver. And pretty much, and then he's got brown boots. And I don't have any of his accessories, but he is actually kind of a cool figure because I just kind of find it funny that he resembles like Burt Reynolds, you know, Tom Selleck mustache, you know, just a little character trait there. So always kind of cool to see some of the like action figures carry on traits of like other toy lines or other like famous people, stuff like that. So we're gonna put him right there. Okay. And then the next figure I'm going to show you is what I was talking about with the cowboy hat. And his name, let me get his arms down. His name is Boomerang Billy. And this is version 4 of Boomerang Billy. And as you can see, it's not really a cowboy hat, but you know, because it's more of the outback kind of Australian hat. But the brim on Boomerang Billy is always pushed up to one side. So, and then I'll just show you the top. So it's not like I said. I was saying it's almost like a cowboy hat with the first figure, but with comparison. But it's like I said, it's like an Australian outback type of hat. But brim always pushed to one side for Boomerang Billy. So that's kind of like because like I'll show you side by side here. So as you can see, I mean, they do sport the same kind of mustache, almost the same kind of facial features, just a little bit. He does have, like, even the eyebrows are just a little bit the same. But Boomerang Billy just looks a little bit more angry, just a little bit. And then, as you can see, they even have the same type of belt band that goes around their waist with the knife. So they, you know, like if you were just to pick these two up and then you're like, wow, these are the same figures, you're like, no, because of the hat with the pushed brim. So on Boomerang Billy, again, version 4, so there's been, but there could be 5, but within this 4th version, they always have the different color camo, different color outfits, stuff like that. But he is sporting a desert kind of camo, just a little bit of a desert theme, but even though he is an Australian outback kind of guy. And he does have like a little bit darker tan boots than his outfit there. And pretty much nothing else really going on, except he does have a, can't tell off camera, no, it just looks like that it's just like a gun holster. It doesn't look like there's an actual gun in there, unlike Shooter Sam. And the really cool thing is I do have weapons for Boomerang Billy, and they're actually the hardest weapons probably to find within the Corps line because they're so damn small. And people probably don't eat like collectors would know what they are, but like if kids were to get these, you know, they really wouldn't know what they are at first. But what I will show you is Boomerang Billy does come with boomerangs. And he does come with a backpack, and he does come with like another kind of gun. But these boomerangs, and I have 3 of them, and I will show you just how small these damn things are. So as you can see, it is a very small. What I'll do is I have an army man here, and I mean, as you can see, I mean, these are pretty small. Okay. And has an interesting design because they have holes on the boomerang, and it doesn't even really look like a boomerang. It just looks like a piece of plastic that was just probably like thrown into the package. But I will show you, since Boomerang Billy actually does have, well, one of his thumbs are broken, so it's going to have to be his other hand here that holds these boomerangs in. And like the core figures kind of have a hard time holding their weapons sometimes. Sometimes you can get them to hold it. It just depends. But this one, with Boomerang Billy, he actually does hold his weapon pretty cool. So you can actually pose him like he's about to throw the boomerang. So it actually does look pretty cool in his hand. And but again, I'm not too sure if it actually looks like an actual boomerang. It's just a weird design, that's all. But it's not too bad. So Boomerang Billy, just another cool figure, sporting a great mustache, and just a good look. But it just with that comparison to Shooter Sam, it's just, you know, they just look too much the same. So that's the only drawback there. And then the last figure that I want to show you, let me get these boomerangs back in their little baggie here. And then I'll show you the very last figure I want to show you. Now this last figure I found at Savers, which is a thrift store here in the United States, if there's anybody watching out of the United States. But a great thrift store. And I found this one in a random toy bag, and he actually had most of his accessories on him, which is like very unusual for that to happen. A great figure, probably like in my top 5 of the vintage Lanard figures, and his name is Avalanche, and he spanned from 1986 to 1991, so I'm not too sure how many versions there are of him. This might be version 1, but he is a rescue skier. So as you can see, because he has his first aid pouch right there on his chest, and again, he's a skier. But just a kind of a cool look to him, because he's got these dark goggles on, skiing goggles, and he's got like a skiing cap on, even though it kind of comes off looking like it's a sweatband from jogging. And he's got a pencil thin mustache, and he's got like a little, just like a little mound of hair there for like a little goatee. I know there's a name for that, but just kind of a great face look to him. And again, he's got the first aid pouch on his chest. And he actually does have some kind of, it's a 2-color, actually 3-color, because he's got the band on the vest. But the vest itself is red and brown with like a furry look to it, with the brown collar here, brown fur collar. And let's see if I can point his arms up here, so you can see the arms here. So it's just like white arms, like with blue bands across his arms. And then he does have, he is start to yellowing just a little bit here. As you can see, you might not be able to see it that well on this camera here, but he does have a white leg here, and then the rest of his leg parts are starting to yellow. So that probably, and actually the like parts of his arms here, even the top of his head is starting to yellow, which just like Stormtroopers in Star Wars vintage line, they start to yellow. But a great figure. And then with his accessories here, he actually has more accessories than just his skis. But to find this, intact with the figure was just incredible, because people will charge you on eBay for the skis and the ski poles, you know, a good $10 or $15. So as you can see, his thumbs are intact, and so he can hold the ski poles really well. They are actually holding on around his thumb line and his palm of his hand. And then the skis are just peg holed in. So what I will do is I'll show that to you really quick. So as you can see right there, the ski does have the little peg hole, and then he's got the brackets that will fit around the feet. So it's just not really the peg hole that's holding it in. It actually kind of snaps into place just a little bit. I mean, as you can see, it is actually the peg hole that's holding it in, but it does fit around the entire boot. So very cool figure. And then again, which I forgot to mention here, he's got the Corps insignia there on his vest, and just an awesome figure. And I love the look. I love these Arctic, because he could be in the line of the Arctic. Like G.I. Joe has a lot of Arctic figures and characters, and Corps doesn't have. I think Corps just has one, but G.I. Joe has, you know, a good handful of ice and snow characters. But very cool. And he actually looks like he could be in the Olympics too. So very cool. And that is it, folks. And hope that you enjoyed seeing some of these. I don't want to bog down the video too much with showing you a bunch of action figures. Just a little at a time, just so you can kind of enjoy each one and you're not getting bogged down with a bunch of action figures. But there will be more videos to come, because I have lots more vintage action figures. And then after the vintage will come the ones where they changed the body types, where it became more of a bulkier, kind of chunkier plastic, and then they don't have the O-rings and stuff like that. But I'll make the comparisons at a later video to show you that when they come up in the later videos. So do all that good stuff. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I enjoy showing off these action figures and enjoy showing off my collection. So until next time, keep collecting.